Um, okay, I'm doing this. Okay, hey y'all. It's me, Kim. So I am trying out this live. I don't know how it's gonna work. Um, I guess I'm just waiting for people to come. Hi. Hey. Hi y'all. So I have no idea what I should make a video about, so I decided to come do a live. That's it. I can only make videos about things that I'm really passionate about or have really strong feelings about, and I don't have anything, so I decided to try this out. I'm gonna answer questions. Okay. Hi, my name is Kim. Okay, let's just get some. Okay, first things first. This is gonna be gone off this channel maybe an hour or two after this is done. It's gonna be archived over on the Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon supporters. Two, I don't be rude to me or each other, or we will shut this shit down. Three, shout out to Janet. Yeah, let's go. What I was gonna say is my name is Kim. This channel is named after Harriet Tubman. I know that people get confused. That's why it's called For Harriet. That's who I named it after. I started a website 9 years ago called For Harriet and got bored with that and decided to start making videos. So that's where that is. So when people call me Harriet, I find it to be strange. Everybody keeps asking me about slave play. I think it's really irresponsible to talk about something that I haven't seen. So I haven't seen it. So I can't give y'all no hot takes. Can't give y'all no thoughts about it. I don't know what it is. I've seen some interviews with Jeremy O. Harris. I think he's interesting. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So I can't talk about slave play. I haven't seen it. I do think that it is, as a responsible cultural critic, it would not behoove my audience for me to just come out here and be saying shit when I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I'm a Pisces. I truthfully did not watch. Okay, I talked about this over on the Patreon. I guess you're just gonna have to call me an irresponsible American because I am not currently super plugged into what's going on politically. I know I do believe wholeheartedly that we need to get children out of cages. Recently, I was listening to, I think it was an episode of The Daily. It's a podcast from the New York Times. Everybody listened to that podcast. And I believe maybe it was Fresh Air, an episode of Fresh Air. And I was sitting on a plane listening to this episode of Fresh Air. And a reporter from Politico was talking about the fact that this government did such a shitty job keeping records when they were separating children from their parents, that there are children currently in the United States whose parents have already been deported. And those children are going to be permanently orphaned because they don't know where their parents are. That is my main political concern right now. I am pro reparations. Both sides of my family are enslaved people here in the United States. I am pro reproductive rights, but when it comes to all the individual candidates, girl, tell me, I'm pro Elizabeth Warren. Other than that, I'm not doing 20. I'm sorry, I'm not doing 20 candidates. I'm not doing it. On my block, I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that is. Favorite episode of Girlfriends? You know, I wasn't the biggest Girlfriends watcher. When I was a kid, I don't know. When I was a kid and I was a little bit bougier than I am today, I used to relate deeply to Tony Childs. But I'm not there anymore. Do you date white guys? No. No, I don't. I have not. Okay, so I made a video about Handmaid's Tale last year because I loved Handmaid's Tale. Season 1 and season 2. Loved it. I thought it was so good, so interesting. I started season 3 and I was like, something's different. Something's different. I don't like it. So honestly, I don't have any Handmaid's Tale hot takes because I have not been keeping up with that. I think what I'm going to do is wait for all the episodes to happen and then go back and binge watch it and then maybe make a video about it. But the first couple of episodes of season 3 of Handmaid's Tale did not do it for me at all. So I ain't got no Handmaid's Tale hot takes. Ooh, thoughts on the Harriet's casting situation. Okay. All right. So we all know I am anti-xenophobia. And I do think that sometimes when we talk about non-American Black people, that xenophobia can creep on in. However, I definitely saw some questionable things that Cynthia Erivo has tweeted and said. Here's what I think. We can all learn and we can all grow. But it is in her best interest to get out ahead of it. Okay? So maybe she doesn't feel the same way. That's fine, right? I said some shit. I don't even know, right? But if you're playing a Black American icon and you have some anti-Black American sentiments floating out there, then you need to right now, today, be out and say, ooh, man, shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said it. So that's how I feel. I do not watch How to Get Away with Murder. Am I single? I'm unmarried, so I am single. Will you watch the Game of Thrones prequel? Maybe. Depends. I'm not, I don't know. Thoughts on K-pop? It's complicated, right? K-pop is complicated because those little Korean kids be having some jams, okay? I recently came across this song called Honey. I don't know by what his name is, Lay or something, written by some Black Americans. That song goes. However, I am always fascinated by how Black American culture gets exported and the consequences of that exportation. And I don't know, those K-pop bands be having 15 people in them. I can't keep up. Okay. My boy band limit is 5 members. But I do hope, and I don't know what they're doing and what they're saying, but I'm always concerned about a lack of citation when it comes to the commodification of Black American culture. So that's that. Have I watched the new Monique interviews? I haven't, but I'm always team Monique. I think that, I don't want to get on Monique's bad side, but her husband, he ain't always the best look, but I'm always team Monique. That's all I'll say about that. Help, I work at a place where everyone is white, and sometimes people try to touch my hair and ask if it's mine. Do you have an HR? That's, okay, if that's a human resources issue. Do you think it's cultural appropriation to learn a foreign language? No, I don't. I have no desire to do any more events. It's too hard. It's not fun for me. Why? Look, the Monique and the thing with her husband and her calling him daddy, look, we all have our intra-relationship dynamics that are specific to us. So if that's what they've got set up, then I can be like, okay, wouldn't be me. But if that's their thing and there's no abuse and everybody's consenting, it's not for me to decide. What are your views on Black parents blasting their kids on social media as a means of punishment? I think it's disgusting. I say over and over again, I think most people are not equipped to be good parents. Just not. I think that most of us just have not done the emotional work. We haven't had the opportunity or the desire to do the emotional work that it takes to be great parents. We all know by now, I don't have a deep desire to have children. I love being an aunt. It is just the biggest gift. But I think a lot of people are hurting and they take out their hurt on their children, or, we have a lot of new resources and research about the best way to raise children. And it's interesting to me when it comes to raising kids that we have people who study this stuff. You know what I'm saying? They dedicate their lives, they run the tests, they do the research, right? And like people just being ignoring it. It's like, okay, but when you go to your doctor, if your actual doctor says, you know what, science says this is what's best for your body, right? And then you're like, okay. It's so interesting to me that people, when it comes to parenting, they dismiss that stuff, right? You know, like we know stuff about child development and the brain and how it works and what's best, and people just be like, "Oh, I'm not gonna listen to that." And I'm like, that is so strange to me. It's so weird. It's so weird. But I guess parenting is so individual. I don't know. But anyways, don't fucking shame your kids on social media. It's fucking gross. And the other thing about parenting, you know, I have a lot of parenting thoughts. But parenting, so much of it, I have learned, it is a performance, you know? So much of people yelling at their children and berating their children and I told your ass to sit down, that is about other people looking at you and judging you, right? And so now that we have these platforms, these social sharing platforms where we all have our own reality TV and we're all trying to telegraph the type of person that we are and the type of ship that we run, I think that exacerbates the problem of parenting being about performance. Because now you're not just performing for the people in the store. Now you're performing your good parenting for everybody in the world or everybody in your sphere of influence. And I think that is so damaging and dangerous. One of the reasons why you won't be seeing my nieces on this channel is because I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It is annoying when people say I got hit and I wasn't traumatized. It is annoying. And also, let me just say, frankly, most people don't know what the traumas are because you're not taking the time to interrogate your traumas. Frankly, I spent a lot of time and money sitting with therapists going through it. And I can't tell you how many times I said something, rattled something off to my therapist just off the top of my head, not even thinking about it. And she'll be like, whoa, wait a second, go back. What did you just say? And I'll be like, oh, is that trauma? she'll be like, yeah, that's not normal. that's not nothing. We need to go back and dig into that. And so I don't know. That's what just scares me about the way that people are parenting their children. Have you heard about the fallout with Juanita Bynum and Pastor Moore? I have. Do you think there's some classic woman blaming and bashing in this issue? Okay, so the real, do people know that I used to be very, very religious? Very religious. So I keep up with the church gossip. So basically, when Juanita Bynum is this really famous prophetess, is that what you would call her? Super, super famous. She has this whole like no more sheets thing. Really, really famous. She went to go preach. She's a Black woman. She went to go preach at this church. She checked into her hotel room, had the stuff unpacked and whatever. The pastor of the church came into the hotel room without her permission. He says to give her a gift, and she felt really violated by that. And then she didn't decide to go preach later that night. And then there's just a big uproar about, did she overreact? And what happened? I mean, don't be going into people's hotel rooms. Honestly, like, don't do that. And especially church folks, they have real strict ideas about gender and appropriateness, and y'all know that. So if she felt uncomfortable because he might have seen her panties or whatever, it's like you get a right to feel uncomfortable about whatever makes you uncomfortable. Don't go into the hotel room. And if it was that serious and you really needed to give the gift or whatever, then get a woman to go into the hotel room. Y'all do everything else gendered. Y'all separate everything else by gender. Why you can't find a woman to enter the hotel room? So whatever. I really want to know. Oh, Harvard Extension School is a scam. Don't do that. Nobody respects Harvard Extension School. It's a scam. Those little certificate programs are a scam. Nobody respects that. If you are serious, apply for a real Harvard program. What are your opinions on rich Afro-American? Okay, throwback people. What are your opinions on rich Afro-American people that try to find their roots, appropriating ghetto culture in a very calculated way? Ooh, spicy. So I think that the process of figuring out your identity as a Black person is hard, especially it's hard. And especially, as somebody who grew up in a lot of white spaces, I grew up between white spaces and Black spaces and trafficking between the two. I think it can be it's real tricky. And if you don't have a solid foundation and like real firm roots and with like real people and real community, it's really easy to think that the authentic African American experience is the one that is most commodified. And right now, the African American experience that is most commodified is the ghetto culture, is hood culture. And so if you are not deeply rooted in the community of real Black folks, I understand why you would, or if you feel detached from that community, I actually understand why you might try to go to the most visible kind, especially if you're young. The most visible kind of like Black American youth culture is that. And so I grew up with all kinds of Black people who grew up in 2,500 square foot houses, and you trying to, like, what you doing? That ain't you. You talk like me. But yeah, you should not do that. You should not do that. Also, because I recognize as a suburban Black person that there's lots of privilege that comes with this identity. And so I need to respect that, right? We don't have one Black American culture. We have lots of Black American cultures, and they're all valuable and they all deserve respect. And it is possible to appropriate another kind of Black American culture. I think that sometimes we feel like it's all ours, and and it's like, oh, right? It's not, because the consequences of it are not the same for me. It's not. I don't know. Hi, that Janet shirt is perfect. I love Janet. I love Janet. My mom took me to Las Vegas to see the All For You tour when I was 12 years old. Janet! Okay, let me not even, okay? And not for nothing, Janet is probably the last, like, brown skin, like, pop Black woman superstar we gonna get. If we're being honest, okay? Love Beyonce, love the Rihanna, but the way that our culture is moving, okay, Velvet Rope. Okay, let me just tell y'all a story real quick. Velvet Rope came out when I was like 9 or something, and my mom knew that I loved music, and she bought me the Velvet Rope for Christmas when I was maybe 9, and she hadn't listened to it, obviously. And I love that album. I used to play it all the time. And one day I remember I was in my room laying on my bed with the Velvet Rope CD in the jukebox. And one night my mom swooped in like the feds, took that album out the boombox, and I never saw it again. She realized that is not an appropriate album for a child, but it is a perfect album. Perfect album. Why is Bow Wow still out here playing himself? And T.I., of all people, is trying to give him fucking advice. Bow Wow is a fucking clown. He's a fucking clown. Let me just tell y'all, if one of my boyfriends from 10 years ago ever came out here and talking about, I fucked that bitch or whatever, please. Fucking clown. I wouldn't even look at you. Bow Wow couldn't even he couldn't even get in the same room as Ciara right now. Why are you in the club talking about I hit it first? And the problem is how men view partnership and relationships. They don't view relationships or romantic or sexual intimacy as partnership. They view it as conquest. They view it as ownership. So Bow Wow, seeing Ciara living her best multi-millionaire life with her 2 children, the woman has 2 whole kids, ownership. Yeah, it's a mess. What's my take on the Blueface situation? I love that y'all know that I love mess. Thank you. I appreciate it. I read books, but I love mess. I think that there's no reason for Blueface to be a famous person. He doesn't rap well. He doesn't rap on beat. Yeah, that's how I feel. Just join. How you feel about the new $100 bonnet? You know, white women are going to do white woman stuff, and that is appropriate the innovations of people of color and sell them to other white women. I mean, like, people have like criticized Goop in the same way. You know, I don't know. White women want to go to other white women to buy their shit. So that white woman who came up with the $100 bonnet, she knew exactly what she was doing. And frankly, there are probably white women out there who are not going to buy bonnets from me, you, whoever. They want to pay $100 for the white lady bonnet. And it's like, I don't know what to do about that. Can you do a video on the parallel between, oops, I missed it. Sorry, it's going so fast. As a 17-year-old, I feel very adverse to feminism because the media doesn't market it towards me. I'm Muslim, so revealing clothes hold no appeal, and the movies come off preachy and obnoxious. I mean, revealing clothes might not appeal to you, but like, does equal pay appeal to you? Like, I don't know. Does reproductive freedom appeal to you? Does not being subject to the whims of the men in your life appeal to you? I just think that, you know, feminism is not a product, you know? So the idea that it needs to be marketed to you, to me, it's just kind of like, get with the winning team, or like, you know, don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not being adequately sold to you, I don't know what to tell you, girl. I can tell you to read some books. I always tell everybody to read Feminism is for Everybody. But like, the idea of it's not sexy enough for you, I don't know what to tell ya, you know? I like being free. That's what I like. So I'm a feminist. 60s white hippies appropriation during counterculture. I don't know what that is. How do you feel about blacks bringing, oh, Jesus Christ. Why is this moving so fast? Oh God. Favorite Black woman author. Please give a bunch of suggestions. It's moving so fast. There's so many questions. My favorite author, I'm a Bell Hooks stan, hands down. I love Bell Hooks. I like Toni Morrison, but, and this is a hot take, spicy take, I like Toni Morrison nonfiction better than I like Toni Morrison fiction. Hot take, I love The Bluest Eye. I find Toni Morrison's fiction to be very difficult to read, and I'm super literate. I'm hella literate, and I find it. But her nonfiction is hitting. There's a, what's it called? Something in the Dark. Footsteps in the Dark? Or is that an Isley Brothers song? Something in the Dark. That Toni Morrison collection of essays, so good. Can we touch on the mother wound, especially within the Black community? How can I touch on this? I think a lot of us have I can't give any advice. I can say my experience. One thing that being an adult, I'm so grateful to be an adult and to have had access to therapy and time to sit and think. I now can respect and appreciate my mother as a human being first, right? She was a human being. She went through her own shit. She had all sorts of turmoil and struggles and strife. And then she became my mother. And she brought all of that shit to mothering me. And we've had conversations, and we're not going to get too deep about it, but we've had conversations, and she just has said to me, I didn't know. And I'm very fortunate to have had prepared parents who like plan to have children, right? But like, she didn't know. You know, she was not prepared to deal with the kinds of emotional complexity that I've been dealing with since I was a little kid. And so I had to get over being mad about that. And yeah, it still hurts, you know, and I'm not excusing it at all, right? Because, like, children deserve good parents, great parents. But I've been able to move forward and just being like, oh, this is a person. This is just a person. This is a lady, you know, a Black woman with a challenging, difficult career, with a challenging and difficult romantic life, who had children that were probably more challenging and difficult than she was prepared for. And then we can move forward, and then we can have conversations, and then we can cry it out and repair the shit. What are your thoughts on brown skin girl? I mean, it's cute. It's cute. I think it's quite sad. You know, people try to say I hate light skin girls. Okay, but let me just say, it's quite sad that Beyonce had to drop a video literally of dark-skinned little Black girls singing the brown skin girl song that was so clearly about dark-skinned girls. You light-skinned goofies out here trying to take up too much space again. That makes no sense. She talked about Kelly Rowland and Lupita and Naomi Campbell, and y'all still out here trying to say, oh, she means all of us. No, she doesn't. And, you know, Beyonce is real plugged into the conversations that are happening on the internet. So she said, okay, let me just assemble some clips and put it out so y'all know, so y'all can stop being goofy on the internet. Okay. Are you an activist? First of all, I'm gonna keep my answers as long as I want to keep my answers. I'm sorry. I have thoughts. That's okay. Do I watch Pose? I really like Pose. I'll probably do a video when the season is over. I think Pose is an exceptional show, and I always say I like to see new stuff. I think Pose is very, very well produced. I think some of the acting is less than great, but I think it's a great show, and I think that Pose will undoubtedly be some people's first and only introduction to trans experiences and trans identities. I think that's so important, and it's just well crafted. I really enjoy Pose. Do you put Black gay men in with heterosexual Black men when it comes to colorism and misogyny? Yes. Okay. Thoughts on Lupita directing Trevor Noah biopic? Shout out to Lupita. Love her. What do you think about the next movie of Tarantino? I haven't really been into Tarantino movies for a while. I just think that he's just getting a little bit self-indulgent at this point. Do you think there are colonial implications in young white Americans going abroad to teach English? Absolutely. That's colonialism 101. Any thoughts on Big Little Lies? I'm a little bit behind on Big Little Lies. I think that this season we can stop. So don't tell me what happens. I thought the first season of Big Little Lies was great. This season is a little bit less so. Somebody mentioned to me recently in a conversation, they thought it was weird that Zoe Kravitz's character never talks about race. That's a good point. I love Meryl Streep. Whoa, this is the first time I've ever really hated Meryl. Love her. Okay. Okay. This is my first time watching you. This is pretty cool. Hi. Do you think colorism affected Kelly Rowland's career? She still says she feels like she's in Beyonce's shadow. I mean, colorism undoubtedly affected Kelly Rowland's career. It's just like saying, has racism affected Beyonce's career? Like, if you're a dark-skinned person, colorism has affected your career. If you're a Black person, racism has affected your career. Absolutely. And I definitely think that, you know, especially when Destiny's Child first came out and they were all always standing next to each other, and they were like supposed to be our Black Barbie dolls, and Beyonce was getting all the shine because she sang all the lead roles and all of that. I mean, yeah, right? Beyonce is an exceptional, well, she's gotten a lot better. You listen to some of those early Destiny's Child and you're like, ooh, Beyonce's voice has changed. But And, Beyonce and Kelly actually sing very similarly. But anyways, the point being, yes, colorism has affected Kelly Rowland's career. I can't imagine how difficult it must be to be constantly compared to Beyonce when Kelly Rowland is gorgeous. She's freaking, it is insane. And the fact that, I don't know, she's pushing 40 now and she's still looking like that. Okay, melanin. Yeah, colorism always affects. I think that nobody has the same drive as Beyonce, to be honest. So I'm not saying that the only reason why Kelly Rowland is not Beyonce is because she is dark-skinned, but certainly colorism is a thing. Thoughts on interracial dating in the Black community? Date who you want to date. I have already said that I did not think Beyonce was good in The Lion King. I thought they should have gotten somebody else to do that and just had Beyonce do the accompanying album. Thoughts about Brazil? I don't know a lot about Brazil. Solange needs way more recognition. I mean, Solange is a great artist, but Solange definitely benefits from all kinds of privilege. Beyonce's little sister privilege, color privilege. I mean, so I think Solange in our conversation is getting her due. Do you believe other races saying the word nigga is problematic? Other races should not say it. I mean, that's easy. Do you think Lion King would have been better as 3D? I think Lion King would have been better as not existing. Okay, like that's what. Where does the stigma of acting white come from? I'm not a scholar. I can't really tell you. Why are Black people shamed when they say that they are perceived to be acting right? I have a whole video about this over on the Patreon. Sign up for that. I love your movie reviews. I know you aren't big on horror, but I would love for you to review the movie Midsommar. I keep hearing about this movie. I don't like to be scared. Is it scary? Because I don't like to be scared at all. Not for fun. I get a lot of stuff about not being Black or people calling me mixed when all of us, okay. Oh, both your parents are Black? Okay. I don't like all of us are mixed. Yes, there are Europeans in my family tree, but I am not mixed. I'm Black. So I don't do that. All of us are mixed stuff. No. And there are political implications to being a mixed race person in this country. I ain't got no mixed privilege. Okay. I got descendants of slaves on both sides of my family. Okay. Thoughts on Megan Thee Stallion and female rappers. I love Megan Thee Stallion. I love her. How can I say this nicely? I think that Megan Thee Stallion is doing, first of all, she can rap her ass off. Thank God. I'm glad that even if Megan is doing a thing that we've seen before, which is like the super sexed up, grinding, twerking, and wearing no clothes thing, even if she's doing that, and I have thoughts about that, at least the woman can rap. My God. Some of those freestyles, I spent probably a few hours when I first heard about her, just going through the freestyles. Talent. I think that, I don't know, I'm not going to go into the self-presentation thing, but I have thoughts on that. Maybe I'll make a video. Did you major in Black American Studies? I do have a degree in African American Studies. How do you feel about Caucasians using the N-word? Don't do it. Do you think people are too hard on Ayesha Curry? I think Ayesha Curry is easy. She's an easy target. It's so easy. And the fact that she gets it from men, she's just too easy. She's just like a sitting duck for criticism. And yes, especially that whole Millie rocking thing. Get a life, you guys. Really? Anyways, how do you feel about a white man playing the love interest in The Little Mermaid? That is what will probably happen. Why do you think Disney doesn't choose to let Black men be Black women's love interest? The same reason why, I think Disney doesn't want The Little Mermaid to be a Black movie, so they're not going to choose a Black love interest. Azalea Banks needs help. The fact that one has a Black phenotype does not mean that it is not mixed. Okay, I'm gonna say this. I have I have a degree in African American Studies. I studied with some of the preeminent racial scholars in this country. I understand what the fact that being a lighter skinned person means that you can also be Black. I get it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. What is your thoughts on reparations? Give Black Americans reparations. I think it's going to be super, super difficult, but I like the fact that we're having this conversation now. It's a conversation that should have been had 100 years ago, 200 years ago, but it's time. Are you actually 30? You aren't. Why would I pretend to be 30, you guys? Why would I lie? I'm 30 years old, March 13th, 1989. I've already talked about Cynthia Erivo. Hey, The Bachelor is a terrible show. I only watched one season of The Bachelorette, and that was with Rachel Lindsay. Shout out to the Black woman. I'm just gonna go back up. What's your favorite Black Mirror episode? Honestly, I've only watched that one. Everybody keeps telling me to watch San Junipero, but there's so much TV to watch. Do you think feminists have become extreme in this day and age? Girl, feminism ain't extreme enough. If you want to see extreme, you need to go back to the 70s when they were really about that life. Now people talking about feminism isn't marketed to me, and feminist, it's like, girl, no. Y'all, okay. As somebody who has spent a lot of time reading deeply about the history of feminist thought in this country and globally, what we are seeing now is not extreme. It's not, okay? It's not. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now in terms of career? What job do you currently do, or do you do YouTube full time? I don't like to talk about future goals because there's a lot of haters out there. No, it's actually not even about that. It's just I'm very superstitious, and I don't like to say my goals out loud. Do I expect to be on YouTube in 5 years? No, I'm 30. No. What do you currently do? I make stuff on the internet as a full-time job. That's what I currently do. Thoughts about Black women valuing money, hustling over relationships, family, men. I mean, I'm trying to think, am I a Black woman who values hustling over Look, I think that if you are a Black woman, then I won't speak for everybody, but I'll just speak from what I know. What I know is I'm going to have to be my own safety net. It's not going to come from my family, even though they have some stuff, but we're still Black people who are just a few generations away from slavery, so we ain't balling, okay? Even if you're a high earner, if you're a Black American descendant of slaves, you ain't got it like that. So I have to be my own safety net. Probably not going to be able to rely on a partner to be my safety net. So I do value financial stability, very much so. And that means that I'm going to have to hustle to be that. So I think that Black women are prioritizing what needs to be prioritized to ensure that we can be happy and healthy and as stable as we can possibly be. And sometimes that means not investing in a partnership that who knows what the return on that investment is going to be. Sometimes that means not prioritizing child rearing. Sorry, I have very bad allergies right now. Not prioritizing child rearing because I know I'm not prioritizing child rearing because it doesn't look fun. I have never seen a mother and said, "Ooh, I wish I was her." Never, not ever. And I know other people who have that. Ooh, man, every day they wake up and just want to be a mom. Don't have it, so I'm not going to do it. But yeah, I think Black women I'm glad that we are at a place where we can say, oh, I just got to do me. Do you, girl? Okay? Because ain't no safety nets, okay? I think they are jealous of Aisha. Maybe. I don't know. What are your thoughts about A$AP Rocky's arrest in Sweden? It seems like the arrest is probably unjust, just based on the information that we have. But that's a rich Black man. Okay? I'm just going to say, for me personally, there are other people who need my help and my platform and my energy more than A$AP Rocky, who got his friend to call up the president of the United States, and he's still in jail. Okay, catch that. So, if you want to, and then did I see that they were circulating a GoFundMe for ASAP Rocky? I hope I didn't see that. That's a rich ass man. But anyways, I hope that he gets out of jail. But it's just not where my activism is going. Do you think that there can be a Black Wall Street again? Probably not. Tell us about your degree. I have a degree in African American Studies from Harvard. It was the best decision I've ever made. Oh, best decision. Loved it. Loved college. I'm going to do a review on Euphoria. Thoughts. Babe skincare products. You guys, my skincare products can only be purchased through a dermatologist. Why don't I sit in the chair? Because it takes a long time to record videos and the chair is not comfortable for me. Any thoughts on milkshakes? I don't know what that means. I don't have a lot of thoughts on British Trump. I think globally, we are seeing a rise, a lurch rightward, all across, the Western world, at least. People are fed up with diversity. People are, fuck that diversity shit. White power. That's happening all across the globe. So yeah, we're going to see it in Italy. We're going to see it in the UK. We're going to see it in the United States. That's what we're experiencing. Are you a writer? The way he describes, I am good with words. Yes, I guess. I don't know if I'm a writer. I don't do it all the time, but I do want to write a book. Do you watch the ContraPoints YouTube channel? I think ContraPoints is I'm amazed by the level of production in those ContraPoints videos. It's incredible. I feel like I take my time in trying to write out stuff and edit it. ContraPoints is doing something a whole nother level. I'm trying to get there. Do you think Nicki is over? I think Nicki is one good album away from being back. I don't know what she's doing. I was a huge Nicki Minaj fan from way back, okay? Chinese bang, pink hair in the back, Nicki. But I don't know what she's doing. It's not working. Any thoughts on TERFs? They need to not be TERFs. I'm sorry, including a trans woman in my feminist praxis does not hurt me. It doesn't hurt me. So I don't understand the TERF thing. What was your motivation to excel in school? Being the best. Being the best feels really good. And being praised for being the best, oof. I love that. That external validation is addicting. That was my motivation. I've already said that I can't talk about slave play because I haven't seen it. Why do you think Blacks are so poor? Structural racism. Thoughts on the 15-year-old special needs girl? I've not heard of that. Oh gosh. Who sings better, Whitney Houston or Celine Dion? They're both brilliant. Do you write out notes for your videos? I do. I write out a script. What do you think about the Harvard Law Asian discrimination case? Ooh. I think that, I think that there still ain't enough Black people at Harvard. So look, here's what I think. College admissions, especially for elite colleges, use something called holistic review, where they take into account lots of different things, including grades, including extracurriculars, including where you grew up, including your gender. So that means that all the people with the highest test scores and the highest grades are not always going to be the people who are admitted. But I don't have no problem with that. I don't, right? And generally, people don't really have a problem with that until it's white people who are being affected. I think, I don't know, more Blacks at Harvard. It's more Black Americans in particular at Harvard. That's how I feel. What old school reality TV show would you like to see a reboot of? I I liked College Hill on BET. I think that would be great. Go to Howard for College Hill. Do you think people like Larry Elder are right when they talk about the lack of Black fathers affecting young Black men? Okay, here's what I'll say about the fathers thing. I think that there need to be all kinds of Black people in Black communities. Do I think it is about a lack of fathers? I don't know about all that. But I do think that we need to be seeing all kinds, all genders of Black folks in Black communities. So we need to attack the things that are removing a significant portion of Black folks from Black communities. And that generally is structural racism. It's early death and incarceration. So I don't know. If we're not talking about that, then I don't know. Because I don't have pants on, so I cannot get up and open the door. Okay. So that's it. What do you think about the gender war between Black men and Black women on social media? I mean, one of the reasons why I don't tweet, it's just because I just think it's just, I don't want to internalize all that. If you ever change one thing about the US, what would you change? There's too many things to change about the United States. Too much. What approach would you suggest in holding allies accountable? Have you had an experience with this that you'd like to share as an example? I think, I'm a person who generally believes that if somebody is trying to do good, that I am not going to start off attacking them. And I know that's a controversial stance. People think, oh, you're coddling. But I just think that, it's in our best interest to, I'm going to attack the people who are my real enemies. But if you're trying to do good, then I'm going to approach you differently. And that's how I feel about that. Do you know Czech Republic? Do I know? I mean, I can spot it out on a map. What are your thoughts on Malcolm X's views on women? Ooh, you know what? This is an interesting topic. So in college, I took a class on Black religion. And we had to read the autobiography of Malcolm X. And by then I was already a feminist. And this is probably sophomore year or junior year. And I remember, and it was an intimate seminar class. And I remember reading the book and just being like, this ain't right. And the professor of that Black religion class was a Black woman. And I set up office hours to go talk to her. I feel, I see how we're celebrating this man, but we're never addressing the fact that this man don't like women. There's misogyny all up in the autobiography of Malcolm X. Women are sneaky. Don't trust women. Women can't be left to their own devices. And I just wanted to talk to her about this. And I thought that because she was a Black woman, that she would kind of understand where I was coming from. And she waved that shit away. She was just like, it is what it is. Product of the times. Focus on. And I was just like, oh, okay. I think that Malcolm X was a devoted patriarch, as were most race men of the time, including Martin Luther King. And I'm glad that we have the opportunity now to go back and revise some of that thinking. And I don't have to throw away Malcolm X to acknowledge the fact that he was a serious sexist and misogynist. I'm not throwing away. I quote Malcolm X a lot, but I don't think we can ignore that because it's a real thing. And a lot of men in particular, who idolize Malcolm X, and are internalizing those messages, not just about who taught you to hate yourself and not just about fighting back and self-determination, but are also internalizing that misogyny. And so I think it is important, it is imperative that we critique that stuff. Don't let it go. Have you seen Lizzo's new video? Have not. I like Lizzo a lot. Diaspora Wars is just a product of ignorance. Yeah, I think so. Oh, Nicole Murphy and Lela Rochon. I think this is going to be the last thing I discuss. Oh, I love that y'all know that I love mess. Okay, this is going to be my last thing, I think. How long have I been doing this? Only 15 minutes? Okay, we can do 10 more minutes. Nicole Murphy and Lela Rochon. Okay, so let me just say this. Obviously, obviously it is unfair in our society that we put so much on women. She's a hoe, she's a hussy, she's a slut, whatever. And so when we see Nicole Murphy out here kissing somebody's husband, immediately, because we are just, sexism is so normal, we go, what, girl, what you doing? Is that not your friend? What are you doing? That's unfair. It is unfair. And so Antoine Fuqua, the husband in this situation, is the only person who needs to be out here apologizing and issuing statements and all of that stuff. However, nobody told Nicole to come out here and lie. When I think B. Scott is the person who got that first quote from her. Okay, so basically Nicole Murphy, Eddie Murphy's ex-wife, was seen in Italy kissing a director named Antoine Fuqua, and Antoine Fuqua is married to an old school, like black 90s bombshell named Layla Rashawn. He married. So the fact that Nicole came out here and lied, she must not have known. That's really what made it bad. You say nothing. Why are you lying? She didn't need to say anything. The only person who needed to say anything was Antoine. He's the person who should have said, I'm sorry, or we're separated, or whatever. She come out looking really, really bad by lying. And then she had to come back and apologize because she tried to get out ahead of the story by lying. Girl, we have eyes. I have eyes. I see you kissing somebody else's husband. But anyways, the point being, they both wrong. Antoine and Nicole. And by the way, I'm team close your legs to married men. Close your legs to married men. And yes, men in the relationships are primarily responsible. They are the only people who can break up a home. However, if you know somebody is in a relationship and you knowingly fuck around with them. Now, I don't know if Nicole said, oh, she thought they were divorced or he lied to her. That's a different thing. But if you knowingly step in, I'm judging. I have no desire to date a white man because I don't want white family members. I don't want to go to white Thanksgiving. I would date a non-white person of color, a non-black person of color, but I don't want to go to white Thanksgiving. How do you feel about non-black people attending HBCUs? I mean, the HBCUs probably need the money. So, like they probably need that tuition. I don't know. I don't know who Erica Thomas is. I don't know who that is. You keep saying it. Which YouTubers do I watch? I watch Julesy. I just watched a video from, I think his name is Ken. He does makeup. I just watched him. There's a cute little girl. Her name is Nicole TV. There's a clip going around of her right now when she was straightening her hair. I just checked out her channel. She's funny. Which other YouTubers? I like Just Latasha. I watch King of Reeds. I watch Adrian. I like Ricky Thompson. Did you see? No, I don't know what Secret Obsession is. But if white people should not go to HBCUs on minority scholarships, Chris Brown needs to be canceled. Will you go to the Grapevine? I don't have any plans to do that. I have already discussed brown skin girls. I don't have any. I've never been to Alaska. No. I would go though. Do you want to be married anytime in the future? Sure. It's not my number one priority, but sure. I actually do think that there are benefits to marriage. What do you think about Black Brits, Africans, and Black people from the islands disrespecting Black Americans? I think that non-Black American people disrespecting Black Americans is a thing, and it is deeply upsetting to me. I get really mad when people try to disrespect Black Americans, particularly because a lot of those people be piggybacking and stealing and cribbing from Black American cultural contributions. So, if you have such a problem with Black American people, then leave our stuff alone. I do support universal basic income. I think that we are moving toward an economy where that is the only option. That's going to be the only option in the not too distant future. Did you watch the Grownish Colorism episode? Yes, that was back when I was still watching Grownish and didn't quite hit the note for me. I've already talked about Cynthia Erivo. I've already talked about ASAP Rocky. Am I a part of LeftTube? Sometimes they like promote my videos. I don't do a lot of political stuff, so I don't consider myself to be a part of LeftTube. As a feminist, I do not. I mean, I have some problems with the institution of marriage. Sure, that's why it's not a priority in my life, but that is the foundational organizational institution in this country, and it is a difficult choice to abstain from it. You know, I've said before that the most socially supported thing that a woman can do is get married to a man in this country. So I understand why people, I love As Told by Kenya, such a sweet girl. What do I think about Lori dating Diddy? These old ass men need to leave these young women alone. Diddy's 50 years old, 49? What are you talking to a 22-year-old about, for real? What conversations are y'all having? And I know that there's a rumor that she dated his son. That's weird. But even if she didn't, stop it. Stop it. It's so freaking weird. Date somebody your own age. Do you go to therapy? Yes, I love therapy. I'm not a big fiction reader. Can you talk about dealing with depression, insecurity? I've done a lot of this over on the Patreon. All I can say is go to therapy, journal, put your time, your money, and your energy into self-reflection and healing yourself. Do it while you're young. I'm so glad that I did that stuff while I was in my 20s. Diddy should date Nicole Murphy. They have a lot in common. Okay. Thoughts on non-binary? I don't have a whole lot of thoughts. I just think that, like, respect people's pronouns. It's really not that hard. I don't understand the issue. Thank you for your videos. Thank you. Did you see Secret Obsession starring Brenda Song? No, I have not. Is James Baldwin underappreciated? So underappreciated. James Baldwin, I love words. I do. There are few people I think who are better with just crafting words, crafting sentences than James Baldwin. Just absolutely stunning. Very underappreciated. Do you think monogamy is natural? I don't know. You need to talk to develop an evolutionary psychologist. I don't know what's natural. But I do think that if you make a commitment to be monogamous, then you need to be doing that. Otherwise, get out of a monogamous relationship. Thoughts on racism and colorism in the gay community? I am not gay, but from what I hear, it's a thing, just as it's a thing everywhere else. What are my favorite podcasts? I listen to The Daily from the New York Times every single day. I listen to Fresh Air. I listen to Up First from NPR. I listen to How I Built This. I listen to The Read, obviously. I've mentioned The Read a couple times. I listen to Longform. I listen to, what else? Planet Money, the nerd podcast. I listen to a lot of nerd podcasts. I like to learn things. Favorite non-American Black feminist? I don't know. Are you a Britney Spears fan? Yes. Am I a Mariah Carey fan? Yes. Thoughts on the election? I think that Donald Trump is going to win. Does NPR have issues with race? It absolutely does. Who do you think will be the next big female rapper? I mean, is it Megan Thee Stallion, the next female rapper? Can you talk about relationships being one-sided? Like when the woman loves the man more than he loves her and she puts more? I mean, heterosexual relationships are generally one-sided. That's why men benefit, empirically speaking, more from marriage than women, because women are doing more work. So yeah, they're one-sided. You're a natural beauty. Thank you. People be on here trying to tell me I'm ugly all the time. I'm not. Thank you. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? I don't know. Who do you support for 2020? Elizabeth Warren, do you watch Yvette Carnell's channel? Not really. What are your views on Eastern Europeans struggling more in the US than Black people, and how could we fix it? That's frankly not my problem. Are you dodging the religious comments? I actually haven't seen any. Are Indians hairy? You're stunning. Fave Netflix original movie. Oh, by the way, the fact that I couldn't name any non-American Black feminists is a problem. So leave a comment and tell me who I should read. I'm sure that I've read some. I just can't think of any. I mean, I'm not saying Chimamanda because, like, no, I'm not doing that. No shade, but no. Is Iggy really so bad? I mean, on the lowest of keys, Iggy Azalea has bops, okay? There are bops. However, am I going to spend my money or my time supporting Iggy Azalea? No. What do you think about the insane popularity of interracial YouTube channels? I don't. No, you know what? I think that's just where we're going. I mean, that's the trend. Just the demographic shifts in this country. It doesn't surprise me that interracial YouTube channels are so popular. It also doesn't surprise me that YouTube channels with one mixed woman and one Black fan are so popular. That's where this country is going. It also doesn't surprise me that increasingly mixed race people, especially young people, are fill-ins for Black girls, like on Euphoria. I like Euphoria a lot, but they do the thing that's going to increasingly happen, which is mixed race, kind of racially ambiguous looking kind of person is a fill-in for a Black person. Elizabeth Warren is the least bad. Do white feminists preserve white supremacy? Absolutely. Do you think of femcells? I don't think of them. Did you attend grad school? Did not. You wouldn't date a dark, strong Italian man? Date? I don't know. Italians have their own real particular issues with race. You know, I watch Spike Lee movies, okay? Oh, I am forgetting I do not have pants on, so I need to cool it. Cool it now. Your favorite Britney songs, too many to name. I didn't go to college. Thank you. Why do you think Trump will win? I just do. I just have feelings. I just think that, okay, I think there are so many structural obstacles to people of color voting in this country. And poor people, it's going to be really hard to surmount. I think that Donald Trump is a good campaigner. He's a really good campaigner. We shouldn't underestimate that. And I think that the white people who are deeply invested in Donald Trump are like fired up and ready to go. What do I think about Black people voting for Trump? Fucking fools is what I think they are. Thoughts on Black Americans moving to West Africa and dealing with racial challenges there? I've never heard of that, but I understand why you would be trying to get the fuck out of the US. I do. You should do a video about self-confidence and how to assume our thoughts and ideas. I don't know. Thank you. Love you too. Sometimes I like to wear cornrows, but I worry about cultural appropriation. I mean, if you choose to wear cornrows, then you're going to get some cultural appropriation side eyes. It is what it is. Majoring in African American studies was one of the best decisions of my life because our traditional education in the United States, I had great schooling. I went to wonderful, well-resourced public schools. The way that this country funds public education is a shame, but I absolutely benefited from going to great public schools. But what I never learned, oh my gosh, my allergies are going to take me out. I'm going to have to end this. What I never learned in public school was Black history, Black culture, the culture, conditions, and history of Black folks in this country and globally. Didn't learn it. And you know what's so funny? I grew up with pretty racially aware parents. My father graduated from an HBCU. My mom always had a very strong racial consciousness. And I remember her when I was younger writing a note to my gifted and talented English teacher and being like, you guys need to read more books by Black people. And I remember being like, don't make a fuss, mom. Like she chose the books that she likes and whatever. But now as a grown person, I can be like, oh, she was doing what she was supposed to be doing. She was intervening in a white supremacist curriculum. That's what she was supposed to do. And so I'm so grateful. And it was such a pleasure to be able to sit, go to my dream school, but also be surrounded by Black teachers. I mean, the majority of my college professors were Black. That's hard to do at where I went to school. That's hard. that is a feat. And so I love that. It was just so great. And now I have a deep well of knowledge. And so it was just great. It was just a wonderful experience, and being with Black people and learning from Black people and being in classes with Black people, it was wonderful. And now, that is the foundation of the knowledge that I use to make these videos and to write whatever I write. Is my mom proud of me? I mean, she could be prouder. She'd be prouder if I were a scientist. She'd be prouder if I were an engineer. My mom is an engineer, so she's big on the STEM shit. But I think she's very proud that I pay my own bills. And I've been recognized in doing what I do. So, are you in your mama's house recording these videos? I am not. I'm in my own house recording these videos. Thoughts on Bernie Sanders? I mean, I wouldn't mind if he was the nominee. Not my dude. Do you think the rise in biracial demographics should be acknowledged more? I don't know how much more we can acknowledge it. I never had Black teachers outside of, yeah, it's a real shame. Yes, Janet Jackson. Look, I'm okay. Rhythm Nation, Janet Jackson. Janet is so underrated. So underrated for people try to shit on her for the vocals or whatever. But first of all, I'm not going to go up on a Janet Stan moment, but she's wonderful. That content isn't for me nor centering. Okay, thank you, Janine. Thank you. She just is everything. She's everything. I've seen her live. Everything. The catalog is everything. Those harmonies, the choreography. Stop it. Don't fucking come for Janet. And also the fact that she is sincerely invested in social justice and she didn't just hop on any bandwagons. Oh, love Janet. Can a Black man be pro-Black despite having a non-Black mate? Sure, but you will still get a side eye from me. Thoughts on Black China and Tokyo Tony's relationship? Black China, Blac Chyna is a hot ass mess. When she was dating that 19-year-old, first of all, I don't just think it's weird when men date people who are 20 years younger. I think it's weird when women do it too. When Blac Chyna was 30 trying to date a 19-year-old, that was fucked up. So she's obviously a mess. And but when you see Tokyo Tony, then you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I'm surprised you're this, because she's this. I watched that first episode of that Blac Chyna show. When I see these people on these reality TV shows, I'm so grateful for my mother. I didn't have the perfect mom. Who does? But I'm so grateful that my mother has never, ever been like that. I've never been abused in that way, not verbally. My mother's never threatened to fight me. The fuck? That's fucking weird as fuck. And so, yeah, it's okay to just be like, oh, I'm not fucking with you anymore. Can you please do a video on climate change and the environmental effect on the Black community? I'm not super passionate about it. I do think that climate change is a pressing emergency, but I don't think I'm passionate enough about it to do a video. Would I ever do a TED Talk on colorism and pop culture? I probably wouldn't, but I will say that one of my friend from college named Chika, did a great TED Talk that went viral a couple of years ago on colorism. You should go watch it, look it up now. Chika Okoro. Would you have her have a debate discussion with someone? Yeah, I definitely would do that. I like to hear people I disagree with. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to go because my nose is running. I like to hear people I disagree with. I really, really do. I'm not going to debate you for fun. I would do it for content reasons. So I absolutely would. Thoughts on sexism in the Bible? There's lots of sexism in the Bible. You just have to ignore it. Yes. Sexism, the fact that there is so much sexism in the Bible and so much sexism in religious institutions is absolutely holding Black women back. Absolutely. It don't make no sense. I grew up very, very religious, going to a Black Christian church multiple times a week. And it's just so interesting. I just grew up with so many dynamic, successful women who still believe these really ridiculous things about gender roles. And I'm like, that don't even match up with what's happening in your home. You know what I'm saying? How you out here running the business, going into these male-dominated fields and, running shit, and you coming home and talking about men should lead. That don't make sense to me. It's never made sense. But people are biblical literalists, and they just can't, look, I still know people who don't believe in evolution. Okay. Smart people with master's degrees. So, the Bible stuff is heavy. I've already talked about the white lady making bonnets. Hello, Brazil. Do you identify as race or gender first? I identify as a Black woman simultaneously all the time. I come into every space as Black and woman. I do not separate them. What do you think about Frantz Fanon? Love it. Definitely had some issues, but Black Skin, White Masks, hard read, but a critical read. Do you play piano? When I was younger, I did. Why am I so lonely? I don't know. Do you already address? Yes, I did. I already addressed Harriet Tubman. What do you think about ADOS? It's not for me. Gender abolition. I don't really know what that means, but I definitely do believe in Judith Butler's Gender Trouble. Ooh, fucks me up in the best way. Gender as a performance, I definitely believe. Top 3 favorite U.S. cities. I love Atlanta. I went to Charleston recently. I really like Charleston. New Orleans is a great city. I don't know. I just like anything in the South. It's not going to be above the Mason-Dixon line. Thoughts on... am I going to apologize for going easy on Drake in the Predatory video? I don't think I went easy on him. I said what I felt. Is Caribbean mix considered Black? Are they Black? I don't know. Should we feel guilty about purchasing items that contribute to exploitation? You should be cognizant of the way that you are participating in the exploitation of others. I don't know how you would avoid buying. Are you not going to have a phone? Are you not going to have a computer? I don't know how you're going to completely avoid purchasing products that contribute to the exploitation of somebody else. That's capitalism. Capitalism is going to capitalize. But I don't think that we should ignore it and pretend like it's not happening. So I try to be as conscientious as possible about it. We're going to do... God, there's still so many questions. What are your opinions on white people attending BLM protests? I attended one in Chicago. That's a hard one. So I definitely think that we do need white support and white allies, but it's hard because the reason why it's hard is white people come into Black spaces and take up a lot of room. They take up a lot of space. And I think that it is possible to want to do good, but also do harm. It is I don't know. And also, I think you should consult people from the place that you're protesting at. That's what I think. What are your thoughts on RuPaul? I think RuPaul is a middle-aged Black man, right? RuPaul identifies as a man, right? He's a middle-aged Black man and says middle-aged Black man things. Oh, gosh. What do you think about Jay-Z and Beyonce's relationship early on? Ooh, spicy. I think that, what I'm going to say is these are people with 3 children now. They have 3 children, and they seem to be happy, and I'm happy for them and their 3 children. Do you think that PC culture makes it hard to get at the true sentiments and roots of current social political problems? What is PC culture? That rings an alarm for me. Do you think East Africans have privilege? Yes. Do I believe in astrology? No, not really. Astrology, what I found, astrology is religion for people who reject Jesus. Like if Jesus, if the God of the Bible is too sexist and homophobic for you, people veer off into astrology. That's what and look, it's legitimate to say that the God of the Bible is too sexist and homophobic to fuck with. I get it. But I know a lot of people who are super, super into astrology now who used to be very, very traditionally religious. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're just redirecting that energy. Would you agree with the sentiment that non-American Black people are biased towards white people and white culture? Yeah, I would agree with that. How do you differentiate between racial bias and plain old preference? I mean, look, there's a very fine line between preference and pathology. I don't know. Who am I to say? I think that all of our preferences need to be interrogated. All of them. Even the ones that you think are benign. They come from somewhere. Thoughts on Black Greek sororities and fraternities? I think that I have lots of people in my family who are Greek. My sister is an AKA. My aunt is an AKA. I won an AKA like debutante ball pageant when I was a senior in high school. I think that they are valuable and substantial institutions in Black communities, in Black America. Historically, I appreciate the work and I appreciate the service. I think that the idea that you need to be abused to participate in the community is sick. I think that it's quite strange to me that some of the most progressive people I know, super progressive, super learned, super pro-justice and equality, people be trying to defend the violence. And I'm like, come on now. Now you know that don't make no sense. So if you can participate in that community without being abused, without being violated or harassed, sounds great to me. I think they're wonderful. They do great stuff. But the idea that people continually to try to minimize and play down the fact that violence is still violence in any context, abuse is still abuse. People are dying. Come on now. People are being traumatized and emotionally scarred. To be a part of your community, that's not cool. Just because it's tradition, it's not fucking cool. I'm gonna do 5 more questions and then I'm gonna go. Would you marry a non-feminist? Ooh, no. Do you think about featureism and the negative aspect of looking too African? I do think about that. It's definitely a thing. I have a big ass nose and big ass lips and big eyes. It's definitely a thing. Have you lived outside the US? No. I am going to delete this live in 1 hour and then it's going to be archived over on the Patreon. Do you believe in zodiac sign BS? No, I don't. You mentioned how Tina Knowles. I did not mention that she had good genes. I mentioned that Tina Knowles has very strong genes. Tina Knowles has clearly very dominant genes. That's why we should not be colorist, because you do not know how your children are going to turn out. You never know which genes are going to be dominant when it comes to our phenotypes. So it is really interesting to me that Beyonce has a dark-skinned father and Beyonce looks like Beyonce. And Jay-Z is dark-skinned and Beyonce's children look the way that they look. Tina Knowles has very dominant genes. My mother has very dominant genes. Me and my sister do not have the same father, but we look alike because she has dominant genes. You never know how your children are going to turn out. And that's why these men who be having children, anyways, if you're having biracial children, you better not be colorist because you don't know how those biracial children are going to look. You don't know. What do you think? What do I look for in a partner? This is not Tinder, so I'm not going to go that. I've already talked about Aesop's arrest. Do you care about mixed race problems at all? mixed race problems are not my problems. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I care about justice, but mixed race problems are not my problems. What are your thoughts on the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan? This is gonna be my last hot take. Louis Farrakhan. Okay. What can I say about this? According to the information that we have, Louis Farrakhan was not exactly innocent when it comes to the assassination of Malcolm X. So it's real interesting to me that Hoteps love Louis Farrakhan. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Okay. And also he is problematic and he's sexist and he's homophobic and he's anti-Semitic, and it's real interesting to me that people just be glossing over that shit. Do I think mixed girls should be included in the Black group? I think that you can be mixed and Black, but I think that mixed is, it's difficult. This is a difficult conversation to have, but mixed is its own thing now. There's so many mixed people that mixed is now its own thing. Is YouTube your full-time job? Do I have a real job? No, I don't. Thank God. I haven't had a real job in 6 years. How do my sister and I not have the same father? Because we have the same mother. I'm Black. I don't have siblings. Okay, yeah, my connection is doing something really weird. So I'm going to go. Thank you guys so much. This live is going to be archived over on the Patreon. Shout out to all the Patreon supporters. It's going to be deleted really soon. My mother was married to both my father and my sister's father. She was married when she had children, which it's really fucked up that people ask that. But yes, I was born to married people. Anyways, y'all don't piss me off. Bye. See you next time. Bye.